Hello, everyone. I'm Sweta Kanudia, Director, Sunbeam School, Mughalsarai. And I've been an educator since the past 15 years. And truly, I have been blessed to learn and take guidance from a lot of my mentors and also from my colleagues at school. Also, my kids who've been an important part of my journey of learning and growth. I thank all of them at this juncture. I thank Nimisha and EdTalks for giving me this opportunity to speak about how can we increase the student engagement online classes. So here I begin. My next 20 minutes talk would be purely out of my experience for the past 1 month. My team has been instrumental in brainstorming, and we have, according to me, evolved quite a lot in this past 1 month. When the educators told us that we live in a VUCA world, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous, that was in December sometime, we just laughed at it. But this COVID-19 has forced us to believe that we are residents of this VUCA world. The pandemic that spread did unnerve us for a short while. But then we picked up the threads and understood that now the schools have come out of the classrooms and learning will be happening from the homes, and the parents and families play an instrumental role in this entire process of learning. So Jai Hind to all my dear parents. I can see a lot of my parents and teachers motivating me in this live chat session. Thank you very much for coming online. I will break up my session into how a general school scenario is different vis-a-vis an online classroom scenario, and what are the roles of an educator as well as parent to make this learning transformational and not transactional. In a few weeks back, our Sunbeam Mughalsarai kids were going to school. The children commuted to school, they met their friends, teachers, did follow a lot of rules and regulations of the school during their academic and co-scholastic delivery process. But suddenly, when we were restricted to our homes due to social distancing was the norm, there was no other way but online classes to engage our future learners. It was very different. There are two ways of online learning, asynchronous and synchronous. Now, this asynchronous learning is the kids work independently, and a lot of material is uploaded in the form of videos, documents, podcasts, which the children go through at their own pace. In the synchronous mode of online learning, the kids work together and we kind of simulate a classroom environment online, which is aided with the help of chat rooms. In the online mode, self-discipline of the child plays an extremely important role, because the child has to be intrinsically motivated to attend the online classes. He can at times it can happen, he's neither physically nor mentally present. So the job of the educator becomes different. The online learning space is entirely a new space, new educational space for the kids. So here began our job as educators at Sunbeam Sarai. We started designing lessons and uploaded the PDFs of the various books, uploaded the syllabus. But soon we found out that the process of delivery is a little different. Online learning does not mean just sitting in front of the computer and delivering a lecture. It's much more to that. We already have the curriculum which we need to transact throughout the year. So now the teacher, in order to engage the kids and be effective, needs to set clear goals, small chunks of learning, which has to be a great, exciting experience for the kids, have to be charted out. So the teachers, number one, keep their goals small, precise. They jot down what skills, what knowledge parameters the students need to achieve to get to that goal. How do the teachers assess once the children have reached their goals? What will be the process of instructional, what will be the process of the delivery? That will be what is the instructional method to be followed. Now began our job. Sunbeam Mughal Sarai fraternity worked extremely heavily on the creation of content. Not only making the content, but trying to look for content online which can be shared with the kids. So investment in content is extremely important in this online delivery process. Now we have to see that the kids are engaged with the content which we are delivering with the faculty. So we used a lot of technological tools to create content, to share content which was available, whether it is from the NCRT portals or the platforms which they told us, or the Diksha platform. And a lot of video we found out is readily available. Students are given a lot of material either in the form of text, worksheets, videos. In fact, what was very heartening is that a lot of senior school kids, when they were given the videos and the uh, PPTs and the presentations, they started going through it in advance. So I feel this has kind of become a flipped class. I mean, partly a flipped classroom. They are given worksheets, activities to complete on Google Classrooms. We are using Google Classrooms where the teachers upload the content and the children submit the content and interact with their teachers and peers. In this online teaching mode, soon we began to realize that less is more. We prepared for maybe 3 days and just finished it in one day. So we realized that if we want to teach, we can teach a lot, but how much have the kids understood? And just inundating the kids with a lot of information, have they really digested the information which we have kind of bombarded them with? In a school classroom scenario, 2-3 pages of text is a normal case, but this is not what is an online situation. The lesson is divided into small chunks, which is in sync with the goal of the teacher. She knows the learning outcome and breaks the lesson into small chunks. Each chunk has to be a learning experience for the kid. She has to be really conscious of the cognitive load which is given. Now, suppose we are in a synchronous mode, in an online chat mode, whether we are through meeting through Zoom or through Google Meet or through Hangout or any other platform, and we have a 40-minute session. Now, we break the 40-minute session into 10 plus 15 plus 15. This 15 minutes is explaining of the content, and the next 15 minutes is CFU. CFU is basically check for understanding. Teachers are teachers. They put their heart and soul in the explanation of their content. They show videos and they do an amazing job, needless to say. And then comes the check for understanding. In a typical classroom setting, by years of experience, the teacher knows, looking at the face of the child, whether she's understood or not understood. But here, she's not physically seeing any of the children. Now, so she needs to give them activities for CFU. It could be in the form of writing on chat box, or she has already prepared a Google form or a Google quiz. The kids copy it in the middle of the class in another browser. It takes 5 minutes for the kids to solve those questions and they submit it. The kids are equally excited to know the result of what they've understood, how much they've understood. And since they are actively involved, it truly becomes very, very satisfying for a teacher. In all this, the teacher has to be able to bring in a lot of fun. See, because you can't keep the same thing happening for 15 days. Normal classroom, there is a lot of emotion, there is a lot of physical presence, there are pranks, jokes amongst the children, with the teacher, the humor in the classroom. We do try to bring in the humor in the classroom, even in the online classroom, but it is totally up to the teacher to bring in unpredictable fun to make the class exciting so that the child is motivated to attend the classroom. Another interesting engagement which has happened, which I have seen of late, that the kids earlier, when we were giving them assignments on Google Classroom, they were solving it in the copies and clicking pictures and then posting it in the Google Classrooms or on WhatsApps. But now the kids have started submitting the assignments digitally. They record their audio, send it to the teacher. In fact, for poetry, they are recording the video and also hearing it for themselves, editing it. Kids are IT natives. So for them, technology is also adding its extra bit of excitement. A lot of my middle school and senior school kids have started performing real-time experiments. And they are editing it through various apps and posting it to get the feedback of their teacher as well as of their peers. What is very interesting is that they are interested in collaborating with their peers and taking feedback, which is again a very important personality trait for growth. It's the growth mindset. In the ATL classes, at school, we had our own middle school and senior school children collaborating as a team to form and to make a model. Now, what is happening, which is really beneficial for the kids, is that the kids from all across the country are collaborating. The ATL kids, the ATL is a Government of India initiative, and all the kids are getting to learn from each other. My kids are sharing collaborative documents with them on Google Docs, Google Slides, or even meeting asynchronously, sharing a lot of other material with them, taking it from them, and feeling very happy to know their culture, their country in this process and making new friends. In all this, the immediate feedback of the teacher is extremely important. How the transaction is happening is one part of the story. But the feedback of the teacher ASAP makes a very big difference to the life of a child. I always believed, whether in classroom situation or this way, relationships before the rigor of curriculum. It's actually the connect with the teacher which makes the learning happen. I still remember my class 3 teacher, class teacher. I mean, she was amazing, and probably it's because of her that English and science is one of my top favorites even today. So if the child loves the teacher, the child loves the subject. And she used to weave in a lot of stories. So similarly, the kid, once we are accepting the assignments from the kids, we need to show them that we are there for you. We care for you by just giving a thumbs up, a smiley, or better, you need to do this better. You need to read this more. All this is going to actually bring a lot more connect in this phase of social distancing. Kids have to be connected with us, with their friends. Staying connected during this COVID-19 is the only way to increase their involvement in the process of learning. Now comes the role of the parents. The parents are actually with them now 24/7. I don't mean to say that parents are not working from home, but probably now's the time when they'll know how engagement can actually happen. I was really surprised. Yesterday, we had a career talk by Dr. Amrita Das. We've been having such kind of talks almost every year in school. But yesterday, the amount of questions which were asked, both by parents and kids, was phenomenal. And it put me to thinking that parents are actually our parents. Kudos to my parents that they're actually with the kids, understanding this process of engagement, meaningful interaction, quality engagement is happening. And that's what the basic purpose of parental involvement in the process of education is. It's not just monitoring the marks that you got 27 out of 30 or 28 out of 30. That's not what is actually um, the role. It's much beyond that. As a school, we have also oriented our parents with what kind of learning we are trying to incorporate, our learning outcomes. We have very regular virtual parent teacher meetings. We've also tried to, because even for them, it's a new ball game altogether. The parents have to help the child carve out a space for learning at home. Initially, 6 hours, 7 hours, the child was in school, and the rest of the time, the child played, rested, relaxed, and studied at home. But now it's different. So we need to simulate an environment at home, a space preferably free from distraction, where we minimize the noise levels, reduce the clutter in the learning space. As parents, we know our kids. So we definitely know how we connect with our kids. Dear parents, हम सभी सनबीम मुगल सराय के जो एजुकेटर्स हैं आपके साथ हैं. We are committed to stay with you because it's our connect which will make things happen. This is the time to be with our kids and family and build connections and relationships like never before. Remember, it's not the technology which drives this process of learning. For me personally, and for us at Sunbeam Mughal Sarai, even now it's the pedagogy, and technology is just the tool to drive that pedagogy. The human connect is magical, and that is what transforms learning. Thanks a lot. Any questions? I have seen a few questions which have been asked, one or two questions. Mm. In case anybody wants to ask a few more questions, they're free to write on the chat box. Somebody's written, what are the activities which we can have for the kids? See, there are lots of activities which we can have. I mean, all the life skills which we talk about in school as a part of our curriculum is already happening. This is a moment of uh, change or crisis, as a lot of people say. But both parents, as well as educators, as well as children, are adapting to it. So if they are cleaning their room, they're mopping the floor, they're making the bed, they're cooking in the kitchen with the parents, they're seeing their father and brother and sister and mother all cook together, watering the plants. I had seen a picture recently of one of our kids bringing water and watering the plants. All these are activities. As a family, we can play a lot of board games. One thing which I suggest, let us have meals together. The meal times will be occasions where we talk about a lot of issues and stories which, suppose, our grandparents and parents they had in a normal school day. We need to really remind ourselves that we need to talk about them. Now are the times when these stories will be permanently ingrained in the minds of our children. We read together. Me and my daughter read together every day. As a family, we play lots of games. sequence, Monopoly, Ludo, Chinese checkers, chess, loads of them, Scotland Yard. So lots of activities, lots of Zumba dancing happens together. There are 3 days we dance together, which is there, and this Fit India movement by CBSE 9:30. So we have a lot of activities to do. How can we be make busy our children in this period? Um, Rajpal ji, as my child is very fond of mobile and TV. So now the mobile and the TV, you have Ramayana coming on TV. Let us sit and watch with our kids. And then once we are in the world of the kids, we watch TV with the kid. And then when we tell the kid that, beta, this has happened, now let's do something of this together, the child will definitely listen to us. This is where bonding plays an important role. Ma'am, how will the syllabus complete? Because my son is in 10th this year. See, frankly, the whole of the country, the entire country is in this state of lockdown. Schools are trying to complete syllabuses. Because your son is in 10th, we are still waiting for instructions from CBSE. CBSE asked us to start these online classes. So we are very happy with it. We are proceeding with the syllabus. Once the lockdown opens, we'll all definitely sit and find a way out to this. Rajesh Vishwakarma ji. Mansi ji, as a parent, I'm becoming more smart in technology. Kids are IT natives and we are IT migrants. So actually, this pandemic has forced us to become definitely more smart. Lawrence ji, engaging the children well in activities is very important and provide proper guidance for learning is equally important. Thanks for your valuable thoughts. Paritosh ji, ma'am, what can we do in extra learning with our parents? Um, Extra learning with our parents, it depends upon the age group of a child. Um, Suppose you have a primary school kid. So, I mean, everything is learning, it's not just academics. And if you want to do academics, you read books with the child, both in English, Hindi, or any other language. Do a lot of writing, write journals every day, do a lot of meditation. बच्चे के साथ बैठिए, बच्चे को उसके फीलिंग्स को महसूस कराइए. In our school, we've started this and we'll be doing it heavily next week. We'll talk with the kids. I mean, what was the most interesting time of the day? When did they feel very happy about something? We need to touch base with their emotional content because in today's context, EQ is equally important as IQ. So there are a lot of things to learn. Suresh ji, do you think, ma'am, that CBSE will reduce some syllabus due to this current situation and due to the possible less school-based classes? I mean, I really have nothing to comment over here. Let the school open, let CBSE give directives, and then we'll see how to proceed. Ravneet, ma'am, can you recommend the best novels to read in this lockdown? You know, the best idea is to download or to spend something in Kindle. Once you have Kindle with you, you can read any book which you want. Now, the choice of books totally depends upon you. So, if you're a middle school kid, you can read a lot of classics, unabridged classics, abridged classics, and then move on to biographies. I mean, that is totally your choice. In case you want to know further, you can connect on our school website. You can connect with us in school, write an email, and we will revert back to you. In case you are one of our kids in school, please speak to me directly, and we will definitely be more than happy to help you. मंजू जी, जो ऑनलाइन कंप्लीट हो जा रहा है, क्या वो दोबारा होगा? Let's see all this once the school reopens. Ma'am, would there be summer vacations for children, or would there be unit tests during these online classes or lockdown? See, actually, right now, let's just wait and watch. We also don't know how things will move. So, and assessments we will definitely have, and every day we are assessing. I mean, what I told, that every class of ours, 15 minutes of explanation and 15 minutes of CFU, check for understanding. So that in this whole process, learning shouldn't be taken as a product, and then we buy that product and then put our children to a series of test scores. I don't think learning has to be taken that way. It will then not be very transformational. We have to understand, and as a teacher, I feel it's my duty, it's our duty as teachers to ensure that what we have taught is understood by the child. It's not that we just go and teach and then come back. We need to know what has been understood by our children. What is your website? www.sunbeammughalsarai.com. That's our website. And in case you personally want to visit my website, you can write a mail through the Sunbeam website, and we'll let you know that. Vivek, Jai Hind ma'am, due to network issues, online classes. So then for that, we are sending the text recordings and text material. See, ultimately, kids have to become self-directed learners. All this is just providing an environment, the resources which we are providing. But at the end of it, we have to have the mindset to become learners for life. It's the love for learning and the curiosity to learn which will take you one step ahead. Teachers are definitely there as a part of the facilitating process, but it's ultimately glad to hear you after such a long time. So can we wind it up over here? Thank you very much. मैं अपने सभी अभिभावकों से अनुरोध करूंगी कि in case they would want to give me feedback, they can visit the Sunbeam Mughalsarai Facebook page and give us feedback. We will be extremely happy to read your feedback and also revert to you in case need be. Thanks a lot, all of you. It was great connecting with all of you during this lockdown period. Bye-bye.